Just about to watch your first Formula 1 race and you're unsure of the rules? I'll share with you the must-know information to get you through this first race. Knowing these rules will give you a better understanding, improve your viewing experience, especially one that I'll mention later. This rule will be referred to so many times throughout the race that if you don't know what the commentators were talking about, it will literally do your head in. Hi, my name's Andy and I make videos for newcomers to Formula 1. To begin, you find the cars on the grid, and from here is where they'll start the race. But Formula 1 cars work best and are at their safest when they're warmed up and running. Similar to how your road car's engine takes a bit of time to warm up on a cold morning. For Formula 1 cars, starting a race on cold tyres and cold brakes could lead to crashes at the first corner, as the tyres wouldn't have as much grip and the brakes would have less performance. To counteract this, before the start of the race, the cars will go around and complete a formation lap. This lap gives the drivers an opportunity to warm up their brakes and tyres so that they're in the best condition when they start the race. It also gives the drivers one last look at the track conditions. Once the lap is complete and everyone's back on the grid, 5 red lights will come on one by one. When all these lights go out, that will signal the start of the race and the whole grid will start racing. There's currently 10 teams, with each team having 2 drivers. Whilst the race is on the top of your screen there will be a graphic that says lap, then it will say 1, a dash, and show another number. That graphic shows what lap we're currently on and how many laps the race is. Put bluntly, the first of the 20 drivers to complete these laps will win the race. But this is Formula 1. It's not quite as simple as that. But don't worry, I'll share a few more nuggets of information to get you through. As the race continues and the drivers battle on track to try and win, we have to go back to talking about tyres. The cold new tyres that were on the grid before the race are now fully warm and getting worn down. At each race weekend, there's 3 different compounds of tyre: soft, medium and hard. The soft is a grippier tyre and the quickest of the 3, but won't last as long. The hard tyre is the opposite of that. It lasts long, but it doesn't have as much grip and it isn't as quick as the soft. The medium tyre is unsurprisingly in the middle of the 2. There's a rule in Formula 1 that each driver has to use 2 different compounds in the race, coming into the pits to have a pit stop to change tyres. Depending on the track conditions and how the tyres are reacting to it, it can either be a 1-stop race, or if the tyres are degrading more, it could be a 2-stop or even a 3-stop race. Before I get onto the rule that will do your head in if you're not aware about it, there's one more thing to mention about tyres. There's also a further 2 sets of tyres available to the drivers. The soft, medium, hard tyres have a smooth surface. This gives them more contact to the track and it makes them grippier. But if the track is wet, they are near enough useless and have no grip. In this situation, the drivers will either choose between intermediate wet tyres or full wet tyres. This will depend on the amount of water on the track. Once the race is declared a wet race by the officials, there's no longer the need to use 2 different sets of tyres. Okay, now onto that rule. So the race has started cleanly, everything has been frantic in the first few corners and the cars are now settling down, and within 1.5 laps at most, I can guarantee the commentators will mention these 3 letters: DRS. So the commentators will then say something like, he's pulled out of DRS range, it's still within DRS, it's close to getting DRS. Then a graphic will pop up and say DRS enabled. DRS will then be mentioned throughout the race, and if you don't know what DRS is, you more than likely end up shouting at the screen. DRS stands for drag reduction system, and it's a movable flap on the rear wing of the car. Formula 1 cars are so aerodynamically advanced that it was proving difficult for cars to follow each other and overtake. Being close to the car in front would cause turbulent air and make it difficult to follow each other and get close. Opening the flap reduces aerodynamic drag, giving the car extra speed, which then makes it easier to get closer and, more importantly, to overtake. Put simply, see it as a boost button for the driver, a push to pass type button on the steering wheel. The driver can't use it all the time though, there's set parameters in the race. DRS is enabled after the first 2 laps. Drivers are only allowed to use it in specific zones. It can only be used by the driver if it is within 1 second of the car ahead. Each track has different amount of DRS zones. Some have 3 and others may have 2 or 1. Without DRS there'll be less overtaking, but it's a controversial device as some fans say it's not pure racing with it. That's a topic that I plan to go more deeply into in another video. If you'd like to see that one and get more of a better understanding of Formula 1, then please do subscribe so that you don't miss it once I've shared it. Thank you for watching and enjoy the race.